Good day, all. Ira Epstein of Linn Associates with your financial market wrap-up, and this is for Monday, the 18th of March, 2019, just getting on to 4:05 p.m. Central Standard Time. Another, I would call it a quiet day. We did put on gains in the stock market. We have the FOMC meeting going on. Tomorrow it begins. It ends on Wednesday with the statement, and then Fed Chair Powell will answer questions in a press conference. Market is expecting one theme, the word patience, not looking for the Fed to change anything. Will they change their dot plots or anything? None of us really know. The energies were up today on a number of different events. OPEC saying that they're calling off the April meeting. They're going to go to a June meeting. Everybody's going to stay at least 100% compliant. They may go more than that. The Saudis are cutting down their oil production, and Venezuela has entered into a trade agreement with Russia where they'll ship their oil there. Now, why not? You realize how much they owe Russia? They owe China too. And they can't get the money through the banks anyways if they use the SWIFT system or other, so they're better off sending the oil there and doing some bartering and getting whatever Russia's going to give them. So that oil will come there. The trick for Russia, of course, is how do they take that oil? Do they have to cut back their own production if they're going to sell it in the open market in any manner, or just use it domestically? Can't answer the questions. In the S&P, you can see how the market continues to grind itself higher, and that's the word. It's up 33 points for the week already. You can see how the market is trying to break out of this. Remember, I told you, I think this is an inverted head and shoulder. And if you do measurements, you take the high right here to this low, flip it over. Just flip it over. So the difference there, flip over. Measure the points, add them to that. That could give you an idea as to where an inverted head and shoulder might go. When you look at the chart action, until this low of 2808.50 is taken out, I think the market remains in the uptrend because the swing line is one of higher lows, higher highs. The market is held over the 18-day average of closes. However, in order to get back to it for support, you'd have to break through that 2808.50. Then you'd have another layer under it of support at the 100-day average of, the 200-day at 2768.50. So you've got layers of support under the market. The hardest thing is that the Bollinger Band, you're riding it, but you're not pushing it out. You go to it, you push a little each day. It's like inching forward is what's going on. That's not bearish, so don't get me wrong. I do think on the first challenge up here, the pros took some money off the table at the 28.26 zone, and it's 14 points higher, but that's what I think they did. You are overbought, trying to push the band out, haven't succeeded. You have a Tuesday coming up. Tuesdays often called a reversal days if you're up on a Monday in financial markets. Does it always work? Nothing always works. The Trader's Almanac by Yale Hirsch. If you haven't seen that book, you want it. His son is still, I believe, publishing it. Gives you some of these old tricks the traders look at, and we look at them. It's just another possibility. A difference in the chart. This is a stronger chart than this. And the reason is you haven't really pushed this one out. You're just starting. You began pushing this chart out back here. Here was the sideways action. You were getting overbought. You had a good thrust over, and then you came up, made the higher high. I like that type of action. When that happens, it's not that I ever tell anybody to buy over a Bollinger Band, but it's trying to push the whole market higher. It's a gradual move. I understand it. Problematic to the market, in my opinion, would be getting under 72.65. That could bring you back into support in the 71.80 to 71.50 level. So got to use some caution. Buying against Bollinger Bands, not something I teach. The Dow, very sideways. Look at this. That's what I'm calling. It's still in an uptrend, but it's a churn. It's not thrusting. Where would you buy? Well, that's your thing. Where would you have a stop? 25,495 right into the Bollinger Band. I don't know. So I'll let you figure out what to do. But momentum is up, trend up, bias up. If the market can jump here, 26,217 is a possibility. In the Russell, different level of a chart because the 200-day average is in front of the Bollinger Band. You don't have that on the Dow, you don't have it on the NASDAQ, and you don't have it in this market either. So you got to pay attention to where it's at. But that doesn't mean it's not friendly. With the close today, you've got higher lows, higher highs, and this is the first settlement over that 18-day average. So I think the bulls wrestled control of the market. Doesn't mean I'm not looking at the potential for a Tuesday reversal against this. The risk in the market is if you got under 1548.10, the last break low, and from where the market's at right now, that's 20 points away. It's a heck of a lot of money, so you got to decide if you'd want to risk that. I had mentioned to you last week that I thought that the first challenge of the lower Bollinger Band is where I thought the pros would come in again and write puts, as they've been doing, in my opinion, each time it's hit it, and try to get out at the 18-day average. I haven't changed my opinion. I think that's what they've done. It got down right here to a low of 1250, 1257 was the lower Bollinger Band, and you're up to 1310. So I'm not saying they're cashing out yet. You haven't gotten up to the 18-day average. But if they did that, they're temporarily ahead of the market. Who knows where to end? In the interest rate futures, you've got an uptrend at work in a sideways Bollinger Band. As you can see, you had an attempt to push interest rates when they broke down here to actually higher levels, a complete failure. The market came back up, and now you're back into this old resistance point going into a 2-day FOMC meeting. In the 10-year note, it's very similar. Now, what I look at here is both numbers are over 80 today. Both were over 80 on Friday, and both were over 80 on Thursday. Therefore, to me, I'm looking at this market and thinking the pros are going to be buyers unless that red number gets back under 80, and if it does, they might scoot and think, maybe prices are headed back to the 18-day average in front of the FOMC meeting. If the market can continue higher, the Bollinger Band at 123.07 becomes resistance. TLT is giving a different story than futures. You've got lower highs and lower lows. So the trend is down. You're overbought, not embedded here. Support's back at the 18-day average at 120.91. Now, to turn the trend up on the swing line, you've got to take out 121.95. If you did that, you'd end up with wherever this is, probably higher lows, higher highs. No matter what happens, though, the momentum is overbought. In the dollar index, I think the bears wrestled control of the market to themselves on Friday, and it followed through today. Lower highs. You've had lower lows. You're under the 18-day average of closes. If they can push the market down, the possibilities there for the 100-day average is your first support. Resistance back at the 18-day average. Now, if we look at today's low, it's 95.83. On a pop like that, if you got over 96.27, you could put this market back into a bull play. But that's 40 points away or so. Well, it's not that. It's 30 points away. So I'd be looking at that. Again, you've got to be understanding what's going on during this time frame with the Fed. In the eurocurrency, this is the first clean buy signal in a very long time. When I was looking at the chart today, there's not one on here. So for the first time, you've had higher lows, higher highs. That is bullish. The market support is the 18-day average of closes. The risk to being long is getting back under 113.82.5. And if this market could push forward, well, you've got a combination of resistance in the 115.20s of the 100-day average and the upper Bollinger Band. In the British pound, Miss May got thrown another defeat where how it works is you can only bring up the same bill so many times in the House of Commons. And the Speaker said, because she was going to bring it up again this week for her EU deal, and it was the same deal, he's refusing to bring it up. Now, they could adjourn the House of Commons completely and start another new session and maybe get it through that way. That could be a constitutional battle. It's just crazy. So you're traveling here like wild without trends. You go down, you come up. It's just a hard market. In the Japanese yen, I still see the trend is down, lower highs, lower and lows. I see resistance at the 18-day average of closes. The market is trying to work out of a condition where it's just got sideways momentum. I would be surprised not to see the sellers show up, but they could bail if you get over 90.76.5. Bitcoin, this is the first move over $4,000 in 2019. It's impressive. I was on TikTok mentioning that this market's acting like a market that wants to go a bit up. It got over the upper Bollinger Band. If it caught stops here, the 100-day average could come into play. It's an interesting chart in that it's trying to break out of the sideways Bollinger Band, and to do that, you often get overbought, and that's where it's at. In the crude, I think the bigger play than long or short futures has been the spread between Brent and WTI, which keeps narrowing in. You've got this total sideways action in Brent. You've got in the crude, the WTI, you keep pushing on the upper Bollinger Band, not running very far. You're overbought, but the market isn't breaking, and that's the important thing, is it's trying to break out. You can see what it's been doing. Look at how narrow it got right here, and what it did is it's trying to break out. And what did I say? When you try to break out, the first thing that happens is you often, not always, but often get overbought, and that's exactly what's going on. There's no reason to be short, but I don't see a reason to be long either. That's the issue. Gasoline, I've been friendly on since the embedded reading, and if you looked at my metals report on our website, I think I've been talking about that. In fact, I did talk about it there. And in nat gas, the market's now whipping back and forth against the 18-day average. It's finally declared today it's in an uptrend by having higher lows, but lower highs. Is it an uptrend? I don't know. You got to see. Today's high did not take out the old high here of 26.84. It did take out Friday's high. We'll see what it does over the next day. You know, the way I keep up with the markets is maybe the way you want to. I want you to first look at the size of our quotes. I can't read half of my competitors' phone apps. Little bitty quotes. And I'll show you, we have that too. I can't read their charts. I can read mine. You can place orders. I think it's pretty clear that you can hit those buttons and see what's going on. Then you can set price alerts. Change them, whatever you want. It comes in. What about voice activation? I doubt your phone app has it. We have it. So you can say, bring me up an E-mini S&P chart. You can say, I want to see a quote on June S&Ps. Just the way you talk to Alexia, any of those, it'll work with that. Text to voice, beautiful, but look at how neat that is. Now, if you don't want that, we have the old way of looking at it too. Gee, that's me. You can watch in here my quotes. Remember what I said? You look at your phone app. Is this what you've got? We have that if that's what you want to have, but I think you're better off with the bigger quotes and so on. Our news, all the different categories you'd want. It could be energies, ag, metal markets. It's there. Here's the cool thing. I offer this for free to you. Just give us a call, go to our website. When my videos come out, it'll pop up. We use push notification. We got away from text alerts, cost you too much. By putting out the push notification, once you have this installed, you get a drop-down message, just hit it. It'll play the videos, my information, whatever you have signed up for. I'm Ira Epstein. You have a good day. I'll talk to you tomorrow.